Matt Christman, possibly the most powerful public figure who is a native son of Wisconsin. I know he is not a native son of Wisconsin. He is merely revered in the state of Wisconsin. I'm talking, of course, about former Packers quarterback Brett Favre. Brett Favre is, just Matt. I can see the pain in your eyes here.
Ooh.
Your boy, the old.
He was my boy, the old gunslinger, man. He was like a kid out there.
The old riverboat gambler.
I had some very deep emotional connections to him as a Packer fan in the 90s.
Well, he's currently in a bit of hot water for defrauding about a couple $1 million from the Mississippi's welfare fund.
That state is it's not a civilized country. They fucking run it like a fucking penal colony. Yeah. It's like some monstrous
it's like Devil's Island
government from a Herzog movie. It's like one of those Kinski's the governor.
Are you talking Wisconsin or Mississippi?
Okay, they're trying to turn Wisconsin into Mississippi. But yeah, they think they're defending like whiteness, but really they're immiserating everyone. But with this just horrible regime, this group of disgusting good old boys just sucking the state coffers like ticks and distributing it to their awful network of hangers-on and relatives and famous people that they want to impress. Oh, Brett Favre, would you like $1 million?
Okay, it's actually
shucks, thanks. I sure would be obliged.
It's actually $6 million. It's
Jesus Christ. Oh no, wait a minute. No, I think it was $1 million like cash, and then like $6 million for like a soccer facility for his daughter to play in.
A volleyball stadium.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Volleyball stadium for his daughter.
They don't have running fucking water in parts of that state. They don't have like adequate sewage. That there is, I believe it is Mississippi, Jackson, yes, where they do not have drinkable water.
If you turn on the faucet in Jackson, Mississippi right now, like xenomorph blood comes out of it.
But that is directly a result of having a government composed entirely of this cadre of hillbilly psychopaths.
I was going to read here from this is from the Mississippi Free Press. Here, it says multiple prosecutors are still examining the facts and making decisions about criminal charges in Mississippi's sprawling welfare scandal that saw millions in funds meant for poor families go instead to wealthy celebrities. The auditor made that revealed dozens of text messages showing how retired NFL star Brett Favre, former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, and nonprofit leader Nancy New coordinated on procuring welfare funds to finance an $8 million volleyball stadium. New ran the nonprofit Mississippi Community Education Center when it directed $5 million in temporary assistance for needy families to the University of South Mississippi Athletic Foundation, whose board she sat on, to fund the stadium on the Hattiesburg campus. Her nonprofit also directed $1.1 million to Favre for motivational speeches he never delivered.
Have you seen the text messages?
The text messages are great.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's like, it's like,
to be fair though, those probably aren't the worst text messages that Brett Favre has ever sent.
I've seen worse, folks. Everybody remember?
Oh yeah, the text messages.
In both cases, it's like he's trying to like either lose the maximum civil penalty or like go to prison.
It does seem like a death drive.
It's like the text equivalent of wearing a wire. Like not just wearing a wire, but wearing a wire in a way that would get you killed. Like with the text messages,
you're wearing it outside of your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Like with the text messages with like the dick pics, it's like, oh, by the way, that's my flaccid cock, but it doesn't get that much bigger when it's hard.
He had exchanged like 4 words with this woman.
Yeah,
she's just worked for the Jets. She's like, she sent him a couple text messages. Then he's like, "Hey, penis." Yeah, that is asking to be locked up like a werewolf when he shows up at the police station.
He sends his he sends his cock after just nothing, after not even pleasantries. Like if bit emojis existed at the time, they would have probably sent each other like bitmojis of each other waving and then immediately his cock. But then after that and the voicemails, he's basically he's like, yeah, that's my soft penis. Doesn't get much bigger. I'm not good at eating pussy. I don't like doing that. And I will be fucking you. Like he's trying to lose his house in a sexual harassment lawsuit. With this, he's just like he starts out by being like, oh, and no one's going to know that the money was illegally diverted when you pay it to me. By the way, I have full knowledge.
Yeah, no one's ever going to find out about this criminal act I'm committing, are they? And also, he's like, I sure did need this.
No,
it's like, dude, what? You're not a zillionaire? You need this $1 million? What's wrong with you? What do you spend it on? Wranglers?
Think about where his pension went. Like, think about where he put his earnings.
Yeah.
He probably he had a Vicodin addiction, which
that's true. He probably spent all of his money on like a Backdraft theme park, like the movie Backdraft, in a swamp. Everybody got yellow fever the first season and they had to close.
The Brett Favre text messages, whether it's sending his dick to a masseuse who works for the Jets or to Nancy New.
That's the crazy thing. She was not just a masseuse. She worked in the media department. She was like a face of the franchise person. She was like a show host. The person who could just immediately say, "Hey, Brett Favre sent me his dick," which she did.
It's it's a masterclass in how not to commit crimes over text messages, or I feel like you said it'd be like wearing a wire trying to get caught. I would imagine it'd be the equivalent of like walking into a social club run by the Bonanno family with Hassan Piker's mobile streaming apparatus. Where it just has a backpack and like a camera pointed at everyone. The text messages read as follows from Brett Favre. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? No, we have never had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, though. Let's see what happens Monday with a conversation with some folks at the Southern. Maybe it will click with them, hopefully. Okay, thanks. We just got off the phone with Phil Bryant. He is on board with us. We will get this done. Awesome. I needed to hear that for sure.
Phew, they were going to break my legs.
Oh, my God.
Also, it's like when you think of going to play volleyball, the last place you think of going to is Mississippi. All right, like I've been to Mississippi once, and the only thing I did there was stop at a place called Huddle House to eat. Those of you who don't know, Huddle House is basically like the white trash cousin of the Waffle House. Like basically, the food is so greasy. Like the only reason people would ever want to go to Mississippi would be to get their colon cleansed. Basically, just nonstop eating at Huddle House. And what really pisses me off about this is that I'm from Maryland. Maryland has approximately 10 miles of beach. Mississippi, I just looked this up, has 26 miles of beach. So like Mississippi, this place that, stereotypically speaking is a shithole, has more than twice as much beach as Maryland. And that fact alone just aggravates the shit out of me.
Well, if it's any consolation, it's kind of gross beach because there's a lot of oil wells out there in the Caribbean,
Gulf.
in the Gulf of Mexico. There, a lot of tar balls love to just come up onto the water there. It's not really glamorous.
Tom, did you do a date in Mississippi?
I performed in Western Tennessee, and in an effort to go ahead and just cross certain states off my map to say I visited them, I visited Mississippi and Alabama. So that was just, okay, I've been there, knock those off. I can now die somewhat happy.
after having checked Alabama and Mississippi off your bucket list, but Tom, you're something of a road warrior. I mean, do you have any favorite places to perform or worst places to perform? I mean, where's the ideal Tom Myers comedy venue? What was the worst one you've done?
Oh, the ideal ones, like some of the favorite places I performed are just along the East Coast. Like I've done Boston, New York City, Philly, Baltimore, and DC, of course, because I live there. Those are good markets for me. I've performed there a lot in recent years, and the crowds have always been wonderful. And Las Vegas, it's one of my favorite places to visit and perform.
Any really bad places though?
Oh, I would tell you the bad places, but I would literally have to draw a map to tell you where they are, just because the towns are so small and boring. Like Denny's closes at 9 p.m. It's that boring of a town. That's how you know when it's a real shithole place.
Yeah. Brett, here's what I'm gonna say. Oh yeah. So I didn't know this. Like the interesting like I guess like angle to the Brett Favre, this massive misappropriation of millions of dollars that are supposed to, be for welfare, like for poor people, is going to build a volleyball stadium. All of this is like, it seems illegal. Like the idea that like someone called Nancy New would be like the middleman for the appropriation of welfare funds, but actually this goes back to the Clinton era welfare reform, which allowed for something called block grants to essentially allow nonprofits to money that is appropriated for like state welfare through these block grants through like the nonprofit sector could be like, theoretically, if you create a billboard or like a TV commercial, about teen pregnancy or something like that could go towards state welfare rather than like, the food stamps or, just like a welfare check or something like that.
And all that money goes to companies owned by people that are part of the network of good old boys who runs the state. So it is a way to directly transfer money that was going to the poorest citizens in a state to this rentier class of fucking bloodsuckers. And then the ensuing poverty that increases is then blamed on the people who have had their money literally taken from them by these fucking parasites.
Yeah, I compared Mississippi to like, those Central European states where they build like a statue of the guy who's been president for 40 years. And there's a day where like,
like Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, Kyrgyzstan.
Like there's a giant copy of the book he wrote just spinning in a circle in the town square.
Yeah, there'll be like one day a year where if your kid's born that day, they have to name it after the president. But like those places are like, they're like better than Mississippi. Like they do have water. They do. I mean, they do. Yeah, they have plumbing.
I mean, they have a lesser contrast to make it so stark and horrifying because, like, there's water just next door. It's a little different than when you're in the middle of. I think it's a good comparison. Is like also fucking Orban's Hungary. Like dumbasses like Rod Dreher clapping like seals at the prospect at the epic civilization victory that'll come on the back of the Orban model. The Orban model is just Mississippi with EU subsidies. You fucking dumbass. You get rid of those EU subsidies, and over time, what happens? You get the same fucking conditions you have in Mississippi. Congratulations. And the whole time you were fighting to maintain the civilization. Good job. You sure kicked George Soros's ass. Meanwhile, your actual political economy is just Orban's disgusting followers distributing every fucking scrap of patronage capable of an otherwise dying economic order that you refuse to fucking do anything about because you're beholden to the last rentier scumbags who run the machine that has no actual economic base because you are vestigial.
Yeah, no, it's very, very important to the maintaining traditional Western civilization, or really any civilization, drinkable water.
It's helpful.
It's very hard to have a civilization without fresh water.
Very weird to expect people to adhere to some abstract standard that like qualifies them for your consideration when that is what they get from civilization, It's a lot to ask. It's a big leap.